It was a stormy night when lightning cut across the sky like a jagged blade, illuminating the dilapidated mansion at the edge of Razpur village, a place everyone called Shaitan's reflection. Its broken windows and rotting doors whispered secrets, and the rain hammered down in a deafening rhythm. Rumor had it that anyone who entered never returned. The villagers spoke of faint laughter, blood-curdling screams, and shadows that moved of their own accord, but Amar, a young man with an insatiable curiosity and a disdain for superstition, only laughed at such tales. "Fear is the true ghost here," he muttered to himself, gripping his flashlight and camera as he approached the mansion. The iron gates groaned like a dying beast as he pushed them open, and the wind seemed to howl in protest. Every step forward felt heavier than the last, as if the mansion itself resisted his presence. The entrance hall reeked of mold and decay, with puddles of stagnant water reflecting the dim glow of his flashlight. Torn curtains swayed, though the air was still, and dust rose in ghostly clouds as his boots pressed the floorboards. Amar paused before a cracked portrait of a young girl, her painted smile eerily wide. The instant his flashlight touched her eyes, the smile twisted into a silent scream, and he stumbled back, heart hammering in disbelief. A faint shuffle echoed from upstairs. "Just the wind," he muttered, but his voice trembled. The air grew colder with each step, and the darkness seemed to thicken, almost tangible. Another flash of lightning revealed a shadow at the end of the corridor, tall, thin, impossibly still. Amar's instincts screamed at him to leave, but curiosity anchored him to the spot. The shadow didn't move, yet it felt alive, watching, waiting. A whisper slithered through the room, "You shouldn't be here." Amar swallowed hard, forcing himself to move forward. Every step creaked ominously, the floorboards beneath him groaning as if in pain. The walls were lined with old photographs, each depicting villagers long gone, eyes wide with fear, mouths frozen in silent cries. The more he looked, the more he realized that the shadows in the photos seemed to shift when he wasn't looking directly at them. He raised his camera, hoping to capture proof, and the moment the flash fired, the photos, faces changed, eyes bleeding darkness, mouths stretching impossibly wide, screaming silently. A chill raced down his spine as a cold hand seemed to brush his shoulder. He spun around, flashlight trembling in his grip, but the hallway was empty. And then he heard it, the soft, deliberate click of footsteps behind him, pacing in perfect rhythm with his own. He ran, stumbling through corridors that twisted impossibly, walls elongating, rooms looping back on themselves. Doors slammed shut in his wake, trapping him in a labyrinth that seemed alive, feeding on his panic. In the main hall, he found a staircase leading to the basement. A deep, guttural hum rose from below, vibrating through the floor and into his chest. Hesitation warred with instinct, but something in him knew that if he didn't descend, he might never leave. The basement door was thick, old wood scarred with claw marks and etched with symbols that seemed to shift when viewed out of the corner of the eye. Taking a deep breath, he pushed it open. The basement was vast and suffocating, lined with shelves of decaying books and artifacts long forgotten. In the center, a massive tome lay on a pedestal, its cover blackened and inked in red. "The way out lies in the shadow of truth." Amar approached, hands trembling, and opened it. The pages were filled with photographs of the mansion's previous visitors, their eyes wide with horror, shadows seemingly peeling from their bodies to merge with the darkness around them. He realized with dawning terror that these shadows were alive, sentient, feeding on fear, absorbing the essence of those trapped within the mansion. A whisper grew into a scream, echoing off the basement walls. From the corner of the room, a figure emerged. A woman, impossibly thin, her fingers elongated into sharp claws, her face a twisted reflection of the girl from the portrait. Her eyes were pits of black, and her lips curved into a smile that promised agony. "You've seen too much," she hissed. "Now you belong to us." Shadows surged from the walls, crawling over the floor, snaking toward Amar with silent intent. He ran, desperate, but the basement had no exit except the door he had entered. As he reached for it, the shadows coiled around him, cold and heavy, and he felt his body being pulled into the floorboards themselves. With a surge of desperate strength, Amar slammed the basement door behind him, breaking free from the shadows. Gasping, he climbed the stairs and found the mansion had changed. Corridors were endless, doors opening into rooms that should not exist, each filled with whispers, laughter, and cries of the lost. Every photograph he passed showed faces merging with shadow, including his own from moments earlier. Panic surged, and he fled, his camera capturing flashes of moving shadows that weren't there when he turned his head. Finally, he stumbled into what appeared to be the main hall. Lightning struck directly outside, illuminating a cracked window. He ran toward it and hurled himself through the frame, crashing onto the rain-soaked ground outside. For a moment, he thought he had escaped. But as he turned to look back, the mansion was gone, vanished as if it had never existed, leaving only darkness and a lingering shadow in its place. And then he saw it, his reflection in a puddle, twisted, merged with the woman's shadowy form, her eyes staring through his own. Amar's screams were swallowed by the storm, carried away by the wind, leaving nothing but the whisper of the mansion lingering in Razpur village. Villagers claim that on nights like this, lightning reveals a boy smiling with terror in his eyes, a warning to anyone who dares approach the space where Shaitan's reflection once, or perhaps still, stands. And those who glimpse the shadow in the puddle see the truth. Once the mansion chooses you, your shadow never truly leaves, and fear becomes your eternal companion. The mansion waits. It always waits. And the shadows of those it has consumed linger at the edges of vision, in reflections, in corners, feeding silently on the fear of the living. Amar's story, like the others before him, is told in whispers, and no one truly believes it, until the shadows start to watch you too.